In the twilight of life, as one approaches their 7th decade, waking up in the morning might bring not vigor, but a fading desire, a dulling of the senses, and a loss of interest in intimacy. It's easy to attribute these changes to age, but it's crucial to consider that a more serious issue may be at play, lurking within the microscopic blood vessels that imperceptibly restrict blood flow to the reproductive system, gradually depriving a man of his vitality. This is a sensitive subject, often unspoken, yet it demands attention. Traditional pharmaceutical treatments often fall short in repairing the damage caused by venous blockage, but nature may offer an alternative solution if one knows where to look. History is replete with examples of men who have reclaimed their fulfilling intimate lives. What if the key to resolving the problem lies not in drugstore medications, but in the power of 4 forgotten herbs capable of restoring blood flow and sensation from within? These healing plants do more than just improve circulation. They revitalize intimacy, energy, and self-confidence. Let's examine each in detail and discover how mature men are subtly but effectively changing their lives by turning to natural wisdom. Ginseng is a spark that ignites blood flow and awakens desire. Experience with men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s suggests that behind every quiet sigh of disappointment, every moment of bedroom insecurity, and every belated search for answers lies a profound question. Am I still a man? The answer is undoubtedly yes. However, when blood ceases to flow with its former vigor, when sensations dull and desire wanes, it's easy to lose faith in oneself. This is where ginseng comes to the rescue, not as a panacea, but as a time-tested natural solution. Known in Eastern medicine as the root of man, Panax ginseng has been used for millennia to support male strength, especially in the areas that matter most: blood flow, desire, and stamina. It's important to understand that this is not just an energy supplement, it's a potent circulatory stimulant. In older men, ginseng promotes relaxation and dilation of blood vessels, especially the small and vulnerable ones that nourish the pelvic region. These vessels often constrict with age, limiting oxygen supply, reducing sensitivity, and weakening erectile function. Many men are unaware of this, attributing their problems to age, stress, or relationship difficulties. In reality, their arteries simply aren't performing as they once did. Ginseng contains natural compounds called ginsenosides, which stimulate the production of nitric oxide, a vital molecule used by the body to widen blood vessels and ensure stronger, fuller blood flow. In other words, ginseng helps clear blockages in the veins, restoring healthy circulation not only to the heart and brain, but also to the most intimate part of the body, the one responsible for intimacy, masculinity, and self-assurance. As an example, consider the story of Walter, a 68-year-old retiree who had been married for over 40 years. He approached a specialist with a shy admission, expressing a loss of his former intimacy with his wife. "I feel estranged from my wife, as if I'm physically present but emotionally distant." However, after a 3-week course of high-quality Korean red ginseng extract, 600 milligrams each morning, his gaze became confident and open. "I feel like I've been reborn. My mind is clearer, my body is stronger, and my relationship with my wife has improved." This wasn't a miracle. It was the restoration of normal blood circulation. This is the healing power of ginseng for mature men. It not only stimulates physical activity but also restores a sense of presence, clarity of thought, emotional warmth, and self-confidence. However, it's important to understand that not all ginseng is created equal. To achieve the desired result, a clinically tested and properly standardized form is needed, not a product of dubious quality purchased at a gas station or included in a multivitamin complex. It's recommended to choose Korean red Panax ginseng, standardized to at least 5% ginsenoside content. With regular use, it helps support cardiovascular health, fight fatigue, and, most importantly, restore blood flow to the pelvic region, ensuring normal reproductive function. If a man feels detached, experiences a dulling of the senses, or loses interest in life, ginseng can be the very impulse, the spark, that the body needs to restore blood flow, regain self-confidence, and awaken a dormant desire. Horny goatweed is another interesting and effective remedy. The name might bring a smile, but it holds powerful potential for improving blood circulation. Many men who hear the name for the first time dismiss it as something unrelated to serious medical practice. However, based on years of experience helping men restore their health and confidence, it's safe to say that horny goatweed is one of the most effective tools for restoring blood circulation and enhancing sexual function. Its scientific name is epimedium, and the main active ingredient is icariin, a potent compound with pronounced therapeutic properties. The effects of icariin have been confirmed not only by folk wisdom, but also by scientific research. It inhibits the PDE5 enzyme, similar to how drugs like Viagra work. However, unlike the latter, which have a short-term effect on the body and can cause side effects, horny goatweed works more gently and harmoniously, gradually restoring blood flow and sensitivity in a natural rhythm. This is especially important for men over 60, as blood vessels, especially the small vessels of the penis, narrow, harden, and lose elasticity with age. This means that even with desire and willingness, the body is not always able to respond appropriately. The signal between the brain and body weakens, and intimacy turns from a source of pleasure into hard work. As an example, consider the story of Glenn, a 72-year-old builder with 45 years of experience, who confessed, "It's not about sex, it's about intimacy. I just want to feel connected to my wife again, to feel like myself." After a month of regular use of high-quality horny goatweed extract, standardized to at least 10% icariin, the man stated with restraint but with noticeable pride, "The changes weren't immediate, but they're noticeable, like turning on the light again." And that's the essence of this plant's action. It doesn't create artificial excitement, but restores natural blood flow, especially in those areas that men of mature age may have forgotten how much they miss. The first results often appear subtly: improved morning erections, a more lively sense of response, emotional closeness. Over time, these changes become quite obvious. Horny goatweed also has a remarkable secondary effect. It gently stimulates testosterone production while lowering cortisol levels, the stress hormone that subtly undermines libido. For men burdened with anxieties related to retirement, health problems, or emotional detachment, such hormonal harmonization is not just desirable, it's vital. When deciding to include horny goatweed in your diet, it's important to adhere to an adequate dosage, approximately 240-500 milligrams of extract containing at least 10% icariin. Don't expect instant miracles. Instead, focus on a gradual return of vitality, sensuality, and intimacy. This is how the healing power of nature works. Not with dazzling flashes, but with a steady restoration of blood circulation and self-esteem. For men who feel their life's fire gradually fading, this herb may be the very remedy that helps turn up the volume on life again. Ginkgo biloba is an underestimated blood circulation stimulant. When older men hear the name Ginkgo biloba, they usually associate it with memory improvement, a nootropic supplement they once tried. However, not everyone realizes that ginkgo's most valuable property lies not only in activating cognitive functions, but also in supporting the blood vessels that nourish both the brain and the entire body, especially those that play a key role in maintaining intimacy. We're talking about the smallest and most fragile vessels, located not only in the brain, but also in the pelvic area. Their condition determines how effectively blood can reach the tissues responsible for arousal, sensuality, and intimacy. Unfortunately, these vessels are most susceptible to age-related changes, plaque buildup, and the destructive effects of time. This is where ginkgo comes to the rescue. This ancient plant, used for centuries in Eastern medicine, acts as a natural anticoagulant and vasodilator, improving microcirculation, the ability of blood to penetrate the smallest capillaries of the body. When these pathways are blocked or narrowed, it doesn't matter how strong your desire is. A physiological response is simply impossible. Numerous cases confirm this. For example, a 70-year-old retired military man, formerly healthy, consulted a doctor with feelings of disappointment and embarrassment. He wasn't overweight, and his lab results were within normal ranges, but he complained of a feeling of numbness, as if his body had stopped talking to him. After starting a clinically validated dose of ginkgo biloba, approximately 120 milligrams twice a day, patients report a noticeable surge of energy by the 4th week. By the 6th week, a deeper and more significant change in well-being occurs. One patient put it poetically, "It's like I'm regaining the ability to feel, not just physically, but emotionally too." This is the beneficial effect of healthy circulation. It doesn't just ensure blood flow, but also awakens feelings, emotions, and self-confidence. When blood flow is fully restored, radical changes occur. Gait changes, speech becomes more confident, and communication with loved ones is filled with new depth. Ginkgo biloba provides comprehensive support to the body, improving oxygen delivery to tissues, reducing inflammation in blood vessels affected by age-related changes, and, as studies confirm, improving erectile function in men experiencing problems related to impaired circulation. It is important to emphasize that no miracle pill can achieve a similar effect without undesirable side effects. Ginkgo biloba, on the other hand, acts gently, naturally, and gradually, requiring consistency in use. It is not a quick fix, but a tool for restoring natural pathways, allowing the body to react appropriately and authentically. What lies ahead? Imagine abandoned paths that seem to have disappeared forever under the dense thickets of time. However, thanks to patient care and attention, they regain their original beauty and functionality. If you feel that the sharpness of your senses has dulled and intimacy has lost its vibrancy and become bland, perhaps ginkgo biloba is the source of fresh air your body needs. It does not impose desire, but delicately creates favorable conditions for its natural awakening. This effect is truly invaluable because it restores the lost ability to enjoy life to the fullest. But the most amazing discovery is yet to come. If ginkgo biloba effectively restores blood supply even in the smallest vessels, then the next plant to be discussed can literally breathe new life into fading hormonal signals. These signals send the body information that it is still full of strength, attractive, and capable of much. This fact surprises even experienced specialists. Tribulus terrestris, or puncture vine, is a true elixir of youth for men. In the feeling of masculine strength and energy lies something deeply personal, something more than just physical activity or productivity. It is a matter of self-identification, of being aware of oneself as a person. And when this energy begins to fade, especially after 60, there may be a feeling that the very essence of who you once were is gradually being erased. Many men, with downcast eyes and a quiet sadness in their voices, admit, "I just stopped feeling like myself." It is in such cases that Tribulus terrestris comes to the rescue, a humble plant with the remarkable ability to restore what time and stress relentlessly take away. In essence, Tribulus is a natural hormone stimulant. It does not saturate the body with artificial testosterone and does not disrupt the fragile internal balance. Tribulus has an indirect effect aimed at stimulating the natural production of testosterone. It affects the pituitary gland, prompting it to increase the production of luteinizing hormone. This hormone, in turn, stimulates the testicles to produce their own testosterone more actively. The natural increase in the level of this hormone entails a whole cascade of positive changes. Blood circulation improves, muscles become toned, mood improves noticeably, and intimate life ceases to be a distant memory. Tribulus is of particular value for mature men, thanks to its ability to restore vascular tone. It strengthens the walls of blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to the pelvic organs. Improving blood circulation helps restore not only physical activity, but also sensuality. The feeling of lethargy, decreased sensitivity, loss of warmth and responsiveness in intimate moments are often due to insufficient blood flow and decreased hormonal levels. Tribulus effectively solves both of these problems, restoring the fullness of sensations to a man. As an example, consider the story of Richard, a 74-year-old widower who, after starting a new relationship, admitted that he no longer hoped to experience his former ardor. He was prescribed a moderate dose of Tribulus, 500 milligrams daily, with a saponin content of at least 45%. Noticeable changes occurred within just a month and a half. Richard didn't become younger, but he became significantly more energetic and cheerful. He said it was as if he had returned to his old self, to his previous state. Tribulus is not a miracle drug that instantly solves all problems. Rather, it is a kind of stimulus, a reminder to the body of its potential, of its ability to be strong, active, and engaged. Regular use of Tribulus helps to increase libido, maintain erectile function, and improve endurance, while also improving mood and motivation. In addition, it has a beneficial effect on the cardiovascular system, making it a comprehensive solution for men seeking confidence, energy, and intimacy with their partners. But perhaps the most important thing is that Tribulus restores lost hope. Restoring hormonal balance and improving blood circulation have a positive effect on the psycho-emotional state. A person begins to feel not only physically better, but also more emotionally connected, self-confident, and present in the moment. For men who have suffered in silence for a long time, Tribulus can be that turning point, a reminder that life goes on, that they are not broken and have not yet reached the limit of their capabilities. They just need the right support, which they have finally found. Now that it is clear how Tribulus affects the body, stimulating its own resources, it is worth considering a comprehensive approach. After all, true transformation occurs when various factors work in harmony, complementing and enhancing each other's effects. The conclusion is obvious. Life does not end, but opens up new horizons. Often, men in adulthood, unfortunately, forget the most important truth. Intimacy, physical strength, and indomitable life energy do not have a specific expiration date. They do not disappear at the age of 60 and do not go on a well-deserved rest at 70. Their decline occurs only when we stop providing our body with the necessary elements for its full functioning and prosperity. Today we talked about 4 unique gifts of nature: ginseng, horny goatweed, ginkgo biloba, and Tribulus terrestris. Each of these components plays an indispensable role in maintaining men's health, covering not only the physical aspect, but also the emotional state, as well as the intimate sphere. These medicinal herbs do not simply mask symptoms, like fast-acting drugs. They nourish the body from the inside, help restore healthy blood flow, awaken sensuality, and support hormonal balance, which is the cornerstone of vitality. The key conclusion from all of the above is that the body does not betray its owner. It only needs timely and high-quality support. For many years, it has been sending signals, trying to convey information about slowing blood circulation, hormonal changes, and impaired transmission of impulses to certain organs and tissues. And these herbs offer an effective solution to this problem. These are not empty promises and not magical remedies, but real, time-tested tools that interact with the body in its own language. Often you can see a picture when men at 60 believe that the peak of their life is already behind them. Men at 70 gradually abandon intimate relationships, and men at 80 simply expect the end of their life journey. However, when they begin to solve the primary task, restoring blood flow, hormonal balance, and emotional harmony, an amazing transformation occurs. They return to a full life, not with ostentatious brilliance and pomp, but with a steady, quiet self-confidence. They begin to hold their posture, smile more often, show tenderness to their partners again, feel significant and proud of themselves. This is not said by a person who seeks to instill false hopes, but by a doctor who has gone through this path with hundreds of other men. Aging is an inevitable process, slowing down is a natural phenomenon, but fading away. Feeling one's own uselessness and losing inner fire is not a death sentence. Nature has provided us with powerful allies, science has confirmed their effectiveness, and the body is still able to react if given the opportunity. Perhaps it will all start with a small change, the acquisition of medicinal herbs, a frank conversation with a loved one, a step towards believing that this stage of life should not be boring, dull, and detached from reality. It can be rich, filled with intimacy, warmth, and sincerity. Life is not over yet, and a person is not broken. He is simply called upon to remember the strength, sensuality, and vitality that still slumber in